Hopefully the Mayo team can deliver this time, and I'm sure we can end that 75-year famine.
I should hope so, thank you.
What words come to your mind then when you kind of think about Mayo football?
Resilient, resilient, resilient.
This is our 14th time since 1989, including replays.
We've been waiting for so long, like, you know, the generations of people have never seen it.
3 out of every 4 people who were born in Mayo between the start of the state all the way through to 2000s left. 3 out of 4. And typically the people who leave are generally those, the ambitious, the restless, those people who are not satisfied. The people who will make a difference, the change makers, are the ones who leave. You go and it's like, oh, this Mayo man, this builder, this Mayo man was this developer, this Mayo man set up this business, whatever, because they went, that's where they did it. They expended their energy and their ambitions in these other places. And people who are left channeled their energy into the GAA.
I know there's the joke, you know, the hype, that Mayo get wrapped up in the hype and all that. And I genuinely think no county does get wrapped up in it quite like us, because we're so, I don't even think anymore it's that we're starved for success. It's that we just love it. Over here in this display, we're looking at photos of the Mayo team from 1932, a team that had travelled to New York. Thousands of people, as you can see, gathered to wave them off from New York Harbour. And then beside it then you have the Sunday Press from 1951. I just thought this was interesting because we wait for final is Kerry fans' view. That's still the joke said about Kerry fans 75 years later, that they wait for the final. So some things don't change. Then, you know, we have the 1950 jersey that Father Peter Quinn wore. He was wing back. We have Father Quinn's medals as well, including the very rare in Mayo 2 Celtic Cross medals. And then probably the centrepiece of the entire exhibition is the 1951 match ball. That's the one that Mayo won their last All-Ireland with. Who knows, in 75 more years, we might have the 2026 ball in one of these cabinets and we could be celebrating, but hopefully we won't be waiting as long. After Father Quinn received it, he headed off missions in the Philippines in 1951. So he won the All-Ireland and a week later was gone to the Philippines. I think he didn't come back for about 30 years. So that is their story and the story of a lot of them at the time, that you did this great thing for the people here and a week later you were gone, you know.
The west of Ireland, from Donegal all the way down to Kerry, has suffered from depopulation. Mayo has been the exemplar. Coupled with that, there has been this amazing upwelling of resistance of people seeking to change that narrative from ordinary people. So you get that from 1798, when the revolution had been put down with tremendous ferocity in Wexford southeast in the north. Mayo still rose up when the French arrived. Even though really it was a lost cause, they knew it was a lost cause, but they went in and rose up. After the famine then you had the land war. The land war started in Mayo. So all the way through you had this very much spark coming from the ground up in terms of a resistance to the narrative, a resistance to the fact that we are this outlier, that we are this poverty-stricken, Mayo, God help us.
Michael Davitt was one of the original founders of the GAA itself, along with Parnell and Croke. Michael Davitt was evicted with his family at the age of 4 from a field across there, and his family followed others to Haslington, a small town outside Manchester. But they also grew up with the sentiment of the importance of Ireland having a right, and Irish people having a right to their land that they had been removed from. One thing he wanted to do was to be buried in Straight. This was an important thing for him, to return to the land that he, as a 4-year-old boy, was traumatised about being evicted from. You know, and it was his whole life's work to return people to the land.
Admiral William Brown, you see, was born in Foxford in the 1700s, and then he went to Argentina and he founded the Argentinian Navy. And you know, in Argentina, he's their biggest hero.
Obviously, we're in Foxford.
Yeah,
we were just bring up the curse.
It was when they were bringing the cup home in 1951. They were supposed to be on the bus coming through Foxford, passing the church. There was a funeral on at the time. The priest put a curse on them because they didn't stop. And
no one believes it.
No one believes it is right. It's a load of rubbish, really. Yeah.
The local priest turns out is a man called Canon Thomas Cerneen. who was president of St Nathan's, which is a well-recognised GAA nursery, and with the idea that somebody who was head of a school that is so embedded in the GAA would be the person who would block Mayo winning an All-Ireland for the next 50 odd years or however long the team were supposed to survive just seems to be absolutely bizarre. There's also the slight issue that there was a priest playing as part of that 1951 team, Father Peter Quinn, so even, as an act of solidarity to his, fellow priest, you would imagine that that would be beyond the bounds. And then the other part of the story is just that there's no real evidence that there was a funeral in the town on the day that the team were supposed to have been there.
And Tom Pemberton gets the ball. He's 45 yards out from the McDonald goal. He kicks and the ball is wide again. Hurry up. I don't know what the ball is.
A lot of people say, oh, Mayo bottlers are blah, blah, blah.
They're not, that's one thing they're not. A bottler is somebody who gives up and doesn't believe in coming back. Mayo come back year on year on year, and they get the greatest abuse from within. They're ridiculed and yet they dust themselves down, they get themselves going again, and nothing more typified that than this year. Bottlers wouldn't have been prepared to actually push their chests out and go and try again.
Mayo have a history of being defeated. It's almost, what new way can Mayo invent to lose an All-Ireland final? It's like Mayo has every single time got back up. That is Mayo. And that's the one thing I'm so proud of being from Mayo, is that we always get back up. And I think that resilience has become part of our DNA now. You dare to believe you could win. And of course, there is an element of the dog chasing the car. What happens when it catches it? I mean, what happens when Mayo do win an All-Ireland? I have no idea. It could be nuts.